Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you a simple way of plumbing my 20-gallon frag tank into my 80-gallon frag tank to provide more room for frags. So let's get started. Okay, so here's a view of all the items that I'm going to be using for this build, starting off with the Marineland MaxiJet 900 pump, 10 feet of 1-inch hose, 2 1-inch bulkheads, 8 1-inch cable clamps, 2 ball valves, and 6 stainless steel hose clamps. So the first thing we want to do, okay, I bought this bulkhead fitting, a 1-inch bulkhead fitting. So we're going to figure out where we want to drill that into the side of the tank. So let's take this rubber piece off and we're going to put it on there. We're going to figure out a location for it. It looks good right there. So we're going to start drilling. So we got our 1 1/4 inch hole saw here. And we're going to start drilling slowly through the tank to make sure that we don't cause any cracks. Then when you're about halfway through, you went through the bottom. Okay, so now that we got our nice clean hole here, we're gonna try our bulkhead fitting in there. We're gonna put our rubber gasket on there. And I'm actually mounting this in the opposite way that people normally do it, but I'll show you later why. Okay, so we're gonna tighten that up. You really don't want to over crank on these. As you can see, very nice clean finish. And on to the next step. So as you can see, now I have the fitting in here, and the reason I put it in backwards was because I don't want it sticking out too far, because I'm going to add this elbow to it, like so. To run a drain line right down and into my sump, which is down there. Okay, now that we have the bulkhead set up for the drain, now we need to come to the opposite side and put a bulkhead in for the return pump. And there you have it, just like that. Okay, so I'm starting off by wrapping my fittings with a little bit of seal tape, my angled fittings. I'm going to do this on both sides, just to prevent any leaks. Just like that. And we're going to put it in. We're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay guys, so I went ahead and connected my drain lines and my return lines. I'll show you how I have it set up. If we go over here, and we come down, Okay, so I have a drain line coming from the frag tank. I have a shut-off valve to adjust the water flow. And then I have it going down into here, running into my sump, which is better viewed on the other side. Okay, now we go back to the return line, and I have it connected the same way with the shut-off valve to adjust the flow, and then ran it right down into my sump, into the last section of my sump, where I have a lifeguard pump instead of the MaxiJet Marineland, because the Marineland pump did not have a 1-inch connection on it, so I had to switch to the lifeguard pump. So now that we have the frag tank filled with water, we're gonna test it out and see how it works. Okay, so we have the frag tank running now. You can see the water's coming in there. You can see that I have a lock line fitting on there, which seems like it's right in the way. But this tank was really set up to take to a frag show and run on its own, so I would have water in the back of this, which would not be circulating. It would probably be not too good for the inhabitants of the tank, so I decided to put my regular little pump in there with the lock line to keep the water circulating as well. Now if we go down, we can check out and see how it's draining. And as you can see, it's coming out this pipe right here, draining well. It's going to go through my filters and my media, and then be pumped right back up into the frag tank. Okay guys, so you're wondering why I want to do this. Okay, there's a couple reasons. Number one, I want to maintain the same water that I have in my large 80-gallon frag tank that I have in my small tank. Number two, when I want to take this smaller frag tank, I simply shut off the valves, disconnect the elbows, put some 1-inch drain plugs in there. Then I'll drain this small frag tank into buckets, which I can take to the show, along with a couple buckets of fresh salt water. And that way I'm not changing any of the parameters of the corals that are in the frag tank at home when I take them to the show. So this is a lot less work than taking water out of this larger tank to take to the show and then having to refill it before I go to the show. So that is my reasons for doing this whole project. So I'm very excited how this project turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell to be notified of future videos. And thank you for watching. Happy reefing.